Imagine that you're running a supply chain for a very big manufacturing company. It's 8 a.m. You open your laptop, a brand new supply chain dashboard is live. All the routes have been optimized, stock out predicted, purchase orders were auto generated. And all you needed to do was to drop a 2-sentence brief in Slack saying, I need a predictive reorder app before Monday, pull the data from ERP and logistic APIs. While you slept, an adaptive AI wrote the spec, generated all the codes, actually created a test environment and tested that application as well and against the live shipping data. And when it was satisfied that it's a good application, it just pushed it to production and you have it. There you go. This is what is going to happen, or what is happening to a degree. And the reason behind it is the idea of adaptive intelligence or fluid intelligence. Some people are calling it fluid intelligence. And before we even talk about adaptive intelligence, we need to talk about what is intelligence. Like, what do we mean when we say intelligent systems? Because a lot of times what we are saying intelligent, talking and describing as intelligence is a set of skills that anything can memorize and to a degree learn. But when we talk about intelligence, we're talking about what Francois Chalot said, which is how fast you can turn experiences and observations into valuable know-how, right? Or knowledge. So how fast can we convert this experience and observation to knowledge? And this is truly intelligence, and static AI truly cannot do that, right? All the static systems that we have, they get stuck in reacting to their environment. They stay wherever they were when they were trained. And up until very recently, I think with foundation models and large language models, we had the same issues. And we believed into the idea of scaling law, and we built larger and larger and larger parametrical models. And I think up until OpenAI 4.5, which was supposed to be this impressive thing, which didn't even took off at all. We used to think that if we build these larger models, this problem will be solved. But turns out that's not the case. Smaller models, DeepSeek R1, started this revolution, and there was a Stanford study that followed as well, showed that if models can reason, temporal reasoning, they can actually get much more intelligent and much more human-like, like in benchmarks like ARC to what humans are, right? And be much more useful. It's like what military does, right? We need to teach these systems to do OODA, observe, orient, decide, and act, right? Like we need to give all these capabilities to these systems. And memory is very important. They need to have short-term memory, long-term context, and they also, if we want to truly have this adaptive intelligence systems, we need to make sure that when they learn a new thing, they learn that this is an AirPod or whatever, they do not forget whatever they knew prior to seeing this new thing, which is catastrophic forgetting, right? So these are the parameters of building these adaptive systems. And in addition to that, most adaptive systems are foundation models, and they're really good, but they cannot do much if you don't give them the tools to experiment, to self-reflect, to have a nice, decent chunk of useful memory. And that's where we are going today. I think in order to understand how an adaptive system works, we need to go back a little bit in time and realize that we have two separate concepts. One is Psi. Psi is the concept of a generative model generating different things, hypotheses, different actual ideas, creative things, like a baby. I saw a bird, I think I can fly, right? And Gamma is the process of actually having the tool and ability to know the reality of the world and to know what will work and what will not work. This cycle of Psi Gamma is actually or the loop of Psi Gamma is actually where we can build real adaptive systems. And this has a little bit to do with new reasoning models. Of course, the larger, better. If you reinforcement fine-tune them, that's amazing. And it also has to do with the agentic AI, to give the ability to the Gamma process to test stuff, to have realistic, grounded information about the environment. So that's how we can build APIs that get better over time. Supply chain systems that build stuff on their own, And we want human in the loop. I'm not saying that they can do it on their own now, but what I'm saying that this is how we are building these multi-step reasoning models that are outperforming humans in open-ended questions with ability of psi and gamma loops. And I guess if you are in a company, you might say that most, and what that has to do with me. And I think a lot of the processes can be translated to these kind of psi gamma loops, and we can think about what are the ways that we can use foundation models to generate hypotheses, and then how can we build these gamma uh, the systems that look at what you have generated and tell you if it's really going to work or not. And for the psi part, we can use any reasoning model, to be honest, like O3 today. Some people are saying that these models are almost having general intelligence. They're true, right? Like if you build them correctly and if you build these cycles well, they behave like a human, and it seems like they have general intelligence, right? And the second part is how to use agentic tools like, I don't know, LangGraph, Crew, whatever, to make sure that we build these gamma cycles as well, and make sure that the sandbox know what's happening when. Sorry for this long rant, and thank you very much for listening.